Welcome to Yeah, We Read It. I'm your host, Meggie.
And I'm your other host, Laura.
And this is the podcast where we, two best friends, are rereading young adult novels of our youth. We are doing for this season the Clique series. And if you don't know about it, it is just a series about 5 girls trying to get into the Clique, which is a very... the popular group.
Simple plot, but boy, is it juicy.
And the only thing harder than getting in is
staying in. Wow, and we are on book 2, and if you haven't gone back, if you're just joining us and for some reason missed the first episode, you can go back, or you can just start here, because you really did not miss much.
It is true. It's kind of like a reality show where you can just jump in at any point, and it's not hard to get where it's
That's a really good way to describe every young adult series novel, because they always catch you up.
Exactly.
It'll be and remember that time that all of this happened, and it's just I didn't even need to read the first book. You just told me everything that happened in 2 pages.
Yeah.
Claire was still mad about this thing, and I was just oh, okay.
Yeah, except for the period piece. They did skip over that part.
Yeah.
Remembering that.
Yeah.
So if you want to go back and hear about that.
Today we're going to be talking about Best Friends for Never, the sequel to the Clique book. And to catch you up to speed, I'm going to read the synopsis on the back.
Please do.
The Clique is back. Massie Block, still gorgeous, still trend-setting, still ruling the social scene at Octavian Day Country School. Octavian Country Day, she hopes. To keep her spot at the top, Massie decides to throw OCD's first boy-girl Halloween party. But she's not sure which is scarier, that her parents are making her invite the entire grade, or that she has to throw the entire party with Claire. Dylan Marvel lost the weight, kept the attitude, plans to use her new bod to snag a new guy. Kristen Gregory, clothes are for sharing, guys aren't. Likes the same guy Dylan does. Will do whatever it takes to get him. Alicia Rivera, with the Clique unraveling faster than last season's Burberry sweater, it may be time for Alicia to stage her takeover. Claire Lyons, still out, wants in, seriously needs to lose those kids. The Clique, the only thing harder than getting in is staying in. Wow. And I liked that our characters got less described as we went on.
Yeah, Lizzie got tired.
Lisi.
She got tired. She was like, I'm done typing.
Where do we begin with this piece of book?
I guess the beginning.
The beginning, because at the beginning they're at Massie Block's dad William's birthday party.
Yes. And she is wearing a nice skirt that gets spilled on at some point.
It spills a pitcher of grape juice on it, which, of course...
Yes, by Claire's brother Todd. And the girls Claire and Massie notoriously do not get along, and especially at William's birthday party, they're not getting along.
And it's crazy because at the end of the last book, they were getting along just fine.
Yeah, they seem to be pretty neutral ground on each other.
Very, very flippy-floppy. We do need to talk about Claire's brother Todd, who's 10, has the biggest crush on Massie, to a point where it's kind of funny, but also a little... creepy.
It's a little bit sexual harassment, but again, at that age, boys will be boys, and they do reiterate that in this book.
They don't actually say boys will be boys. I just wrote that down in my notes. Yeah, they're like, he was just messing around, it's fine. But I'm just like, I don't know if that was fine.
Yeah, so he spills the grape juice on her skirt and goes immediately to clean it, and you're like, uh-oh. That's not good. He's pretty confident for a 10-year-old.
Yeah, he's the most confident person, I think, in this entire series.
Yeah.
Thus far.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then when I was also, reviewing my notes for this, I realized that the point of this birthday party scene was so that Claire and Massie can make this big, big bet.
Yes.
And the bet becomes so not a plot point in the book.
No.
It's immediate, it's set up, they make such a big deal out of it, and then they really just throw it to the side.
Yep, so Claire and Massie start off, and Claire's like, Massie, I bet that you can't go a month without shopping. And Massie's like, Claire, you're fugly and poor. I bet you can't go a month not wearing the same outfit, Keds included. So, she has to wear 30 different pairs of shoes, which is psychotic.
And Massie has to re-wear clothes, which is psychotic.
It's not balanced at all.
It's just it's a completely unfair bet.
And whoever loses has to wear Massie's snowsuit for an entire week at school.
Yeah, so that's only 5 days. That's not that bad.
Not that bad.
But then, immediately after they make this bet, Massie finds out that this girl, Becca, I think was her name.
Yeah, I think so.
But Becca thinks Massie's on her way out, and Becca wants to throw a boy-girl Halloween party to show just how, like, mature that they are. And Massie's like, I'm gonna steal that idea. But Massie convinces Claire to pretend that they're getting along so that they can, like, throw this party. Mm-hmm. Because, like, Massie's mom isn't going to let Massie just throw a party and not have Claire there because Massie's mom really wants her and Claire to get along.
Exactly. And, you know, maybe she might let her throw it if it was a girls only, but this one's co-ed. And stakes are higher.
Yeah, so fast forward. Massie's parents and Claire's parents agree to let them co-host this party.
Yes.
And Massie's about to stage her takeover. And we immediately jump to a hay wagon. What are those called? Pumpkin patch? Yeah, we immediately jump there.
And what's in the deal for Claire is she will be getting a cream-of-the-crop Motorola phone, which... My favorite part, I was reading this out loud when, because I couldn't figure out when she was like, I thought we had a deal. And then Massie goes, then deal. I was like, does she mean then deal with it?
Yeah, see, the thing was this, Massie's like, hey, help me get, like, my parents to agree to this Halloween party. And I'm sure your parents will agree to give you a cell phone. And Claire's parents don't actually agree to give her a cell phone. Mm-hmm. Massie was just using her. Mm-hmm. Okay, but now we're at the pumpkin patch. And Massie's about to throw it in Becca's face that she's stolen her idea.
Becca, who is a gymnast, who has a gymnast friend, and it is emphasized that the only pretty thing about built Becca is, you know, her blue eyes. That's pretty...
Yeah, and I forget what the other girl's name was, but they described her hair as, like, flat and ratty or something. But, okay, and I texted people about this because they're really, like... It's not like they're just, like, kind of mean to Becca. They're, like, pretty mean to Becca. Like, not only do they steal her idea, and they're just like, oh, by the way, like, I'm throwing this party. By the way, you won't be invited because you said I'm on my way out. But then Alicia just kicks a hole in her pumpkin.
She flawlessly somehow steps her heel in the pumpkin, does not get it stuck on her heel, and then just, like, wipes the guts
Yeah,
off.
She was sitting on it, and she was, like, kicking it.
Yeah.
So then it, like, let a heel in it, and then she's like, okay, bye! So it's just like, wow, could you imagine being told, hey, I stole your idea for a party, not inviting you, also fuck you and your pumpkin.
That has to be a pretty big pumpkin, because if it was a small pumpkin, she's gonna look gross sitting on it.
The entire time I was reading this scene, I was just like, I don't think Lisi knows how big pumpkins are. Because, like, to have a pumpkin that a full person could sit on and swing their legs back and forth like it was, like, a really, really big chair or something... would be like a really big pumpkin and not easy to carry.
Either that pumpkin is 3 feet tall or Becca is an MMA fighter for being able to haul it.
Yeah, it's, you know, she was on her way to lifting it. Well, they were getting a wheelbarrow to move it, but that was a smaller detail.
So they're on their way to throwing this co-ed party. Becca's unnamed friend, we don't know, asks... well, maybe her party's not on the 31st. And they're like, you're so dumb. Of course it is on the 31st.
And then I will say the majority of the rest of this book, like, save for the last, like, 40 pages, is just planning the Halloween party. And then actually the Halloween party. I think, like, a good 100 pages of this book are just party stuff.
For sure. And so they wanted to be co-ed with the Briarwood boys, because Briarwood is the boys' school, because... Massie has a crush on Cam Fisher, mm-hmm. and Kristen and Dylan are fighting over Derek Harrington?
Yeah, his name's Derek Harrington, but they all call him Darrington. And his big thing is that he's a loser. He's not like a loser, he's hot, but he wears shorts in the winter, and Massie's like, that's gross.
I was just going to bring up the shorts in the winter. That is probably said 3 times.
Oh, yeah, like, that's, like, his thing. Like, that's how often it's said.
She's like, who the fuck could like someone who wears shorts in the winter?
Oh, you know what?
Come to Iowa. There's everyone does.
Before we get into, like, the ins and out of this Halloween party that I don't even think we'll get to cover the entirety of it, I do need to mention another very unnecessary plot point of Lane IMing Claire after William's birthday party and being like, hey, did you take that happiness quiz I sent you?
And this is where we realize Claire has clinical depression.
No, we realize she's a mopey dick.
Which is code for clinical depression.
And then it's like literally 3 questions of just like you wouldn't send this to anybody. Like what? Like the questions are.
I do like that at one point there was a question about the real world, and a little bit of me was like, "Is this Lisi plugging that she is an MTV producer as well as an author?"
One of the questions is, if your life was a ride at Six Flags, it would be A, the Jester, B, Hurricane Harbor, or C, the Scream. And it's just like, what is this? Literally, what is this? But Lane gets happy as a clam. And I don't know why they spend like 5 pages talking about this happiness quiz. It never comes up again.
It really doesn't.
But basically the thing is Claire is sad, a mopey dick, because she doesn't have a boyfriend and she wants to be friends with Massie still.
But Claire is really excited for this co-ed party because this is her first opportunity to show in Orlando, where she moved from. She knows a lot about boys because, and I quote on page 39, "Who needs a date? Recess 3 times a day with boys can teach a girl a lot."
Also, I read that too. Recess 3 times a day?
Oh my god, wait, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, like now. Recess is once a day.
Shit, should we move to, time travel and then move to Florida, I guess.
Yeah. No, let's re-enroll in school.
Oh my god.
Okay, so the Massie decides that her and her friends are gonna dress slutty for Halloween, even though they're 14.
Yes, it's, I don't understand really, because they're wearing skirts and then they're wearing booty shorts.
Yeah, I don't really understand that either. Like, their costume is like a red devil, but it's like a slutty devil.
And they have something with glitter on their butt.
They're wearing like t-shirts with like embroidery where like a logo would go for a polo with their names on it.
Yes.
A short skirt, boy shorts that read something underneath the skirt.
Yeah.
And the shirt has rips in it?
I think so. Which is like, if they're trying to be cool, that sounds exactly how Lane dresses. Minus the skirt, but like the red shirts, I'm like, oh, that's like band t-shirts.
Exactly, yeah. It sounded like it was like, Lisi writes it so it sounds a lot like sexier than it actually is when you like think about it. You're like, that just seems still like a lot of clothes. To wear skirt, shorts, shirt.
Oh, they had "Kiss It" written across the butt in silver glitter.
Ooh. I want one.
So Lisi is actually pretty progressive for her time, because "Kiss It" was the definition of eat ass before eat ass came up. So essentially, these 12-year-olds are saying eat ass.
They should be, honestly. But yeah, so Massie really starts to just like throw Claire to the side with this Halloween planning, even though Claire's like a co-host.
And Kendra eventually is like, Massie, you need to have Claire be
a devil with you?
Devil with you.
There was a name for it or something.
Even your fucking dog is being a dirty devil. You need to have Claire be a dirty devil. And then Massie's like, oops, because Massie forgot to pack Claire's dirty devil outfit when they went to school.
So Massie at the end of the month is like dying. And so Massie, because she can't wear any new clothes.
We cannot reiterate enough. She's dying. She tied her dad's Armani tie around her waist
as a belt because she just couldn't fathom wearing anything else.
No.
But yeah, so in her ways to forego this, need she has to wear new clothes since she can't shop, she decides to wear her Halloween costume to school, and then she brings everybody's except Claire's.
Yes, and listen, we can't emphasize once again enough how hard Massie tries to shop. She even has her friends meet her in the Limited, and she considers buying something at the Limited.
Oh, yeah, that was a very emphasized point, that Massie almost bought something at the Limited, which I don't even think that's a store that exists anymore.
I don't either, and also, I mean, I don't know if, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought the Limited was really expensive when I was younger.
I also think it was supposed to be that, but I don't know, I never shopped there.
They also said the Limited was the new Gap, and Gap was still expensive to me. So
Gap, I think its Gap is still like pretty expensive.
Yeah, I only shopped there when I had a discount.
I don't think I ever shopped there.
Oh my god,
I stole some underwear from there once.
Oh yeah, who didn't?
Who didn't?
They see me working at Old Navy in college and they bully me. They're like, "You're fucking poor, Meggie," and I'm like, "I'm a college student. Of course I am." These kids. Just making me cry.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but anyway, Massie and her friends' costumes are too revealing.
Too
sexy. And basically everybody at the school starts trying to like copy these costumes.
One girl shows up to Adele, the nurse's office, because she accidentally...
She's cut herself with scissors trying to cut holes in her shirt to match them.
And not only does she show up, but the people... Lane and Claire are in Adele's because they're just randomly friends with the nurse. They keep, like, making fun of this poor girl. They're like, why the fuck would you, like, try to copy Massie?
Yeah, they're like, this poor girl is bleeding and they're just making fun of her.
They're like, that's so embarrassing of you.
But since Massie and her friends wore the costume to school, when the party actually is about to happen that evening, Claire's like, well, I can't wear that costume now because now I look like a copier. So Claire has to go as her original costume idea, which was her costume from last year, a Blossom from the Powerpuff Girls, and her brother Todd and his friend Nathan decide to be Bubbles and Buttercup, which is actually really sweet.
That was really sweet. That was a really sweet moment because he was like, I'm obviously covering up for you to Mom that, like, you and Massie aren't really friends.
Yeah. And, like, yeah, Todd's, like, he both is and is not a real one, is what I've learned. It's like, sometimes he's really great, and then sometimes I'm just like, that's kind of mean. It's kind of a dick move.
And this is the first time, and also I feel like when Nathan and Todd dress up as girls, I mean, like, there's subtle transphobia in this book later, but I don't think that they get that much shit from what I remember.
Well, because it's Halloween, you're allowed to.
That is true. I was imagining them, because I watched a lot of those TikToks of, like, Halloween and their really tragic outfits, but I've been trying to figure out if they had a mask or if they just taped on eyes.
It sounds like they put sunglasses on and taped white cardboard, like, circles around the sunglasses. So then they had a circle cut out so it looked like little pupils with the sunglasses. But you wouldn't wear that all the time. I don't think Claire had it.
Did she have a mask?
I don't know. I don't know if she just had a wig. They didn't really explain her costume in that much detail.
They didn't either.
Yeah.
I had this one Campbell soup costume that was like a big boxy, and it kind of read to me that that's the same costume that she had, but it was the pink Powerpuff Blossom cut-up thing.
Yeah, see, because every time I feel like I've seen a Powerpuff Girls, like, costume in, like, a bag, it's just, like, really big and boxy and not good.
I don't know.
Okay, but anyway, this party starts, and, again, we spend a majority of this book just at the party.
And Massie has been planning this party with a professional party planner, and they wanted not a justification, but like an opposites attract sort of thing. So it's when hell freezes over. So there's a fucking ice rink there.
There's an ice rink, and the ice, they put like dismembered heads underneath the ice to freeze it over.
There's a DJ. There's 4 different bonfire pits.
This party easily cost 6 figures. Like, the way they did, like, they made bonfire pits.
Yeah.
They
had party bags they had, like, waiters that were dressed up. It sounded kind of like Playboy bunnies.
Yeah.
But they were, like, devils.
I don't know. But it was a lot. It was a big party for a middle school. A party, okay, and then they said 75 people were at this party, and I was like, that's it?
Yes!
It feels like there should have been way more people there. I thought, like, it sounds like OCD is such a big school, and it also sounds like Briarwood is also such a big school.
Yeah. They're so big they can't even be co-ed.
Yeah. But now only 75 people were at this party. But they also invited, like, everyone to this party, so I think that was just a mix-up on Lisi's part of just being, like... Because Massie made a point to invite everyone to the party.
Yes.
So, who knows? Well, besides Becca and What's-Her-Face.
Yes.
But anyway, Claire interrupts Massie, who's with her friends, and they're all trying to, kiss a boy. Massie has a crush on Cam, but she won't tell anybody because she won't say a single thing till she knows if he likes him back. And then Kristen and Dylan both like Darrington. But Kristen can't come to the party. I forgot about that. That was brushed over.
They got in trouble. And that was really messed up, too, because they call her at the bonfire, and Dylan snatches the phone from Massie, and she's like, oh, what'd you say, Derek? You want to kiss me at the bonfire? And Massie later on is like, what did I miss? I had to console Kristen for crying on the phone. And I was like, no shit she is. Her friend is like, oh my god, the boy you like wants to kiss me?
Me? Yeah, it was Dylan and Kristen were so mean to each other this whole book.
So mean. And then it basically comes out, like, he's teased a little bit at the bonfire for liking Kristen, so it's like, okay, we know now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then we find out later that he likes Massie.
I know, that was
weird.
Crazy.
It was so weird. Darrington sucks.
He really does.
Like, I don't get the appeal. Like, there's never been any appeal to him.
We can't emphasize enough. He wears shorts in
the winter.
Exactly.
In the summer. He wears shorts in the summer.
That's crazy.
Did you ever fight with any boys, like with your friends, like fight over a boy with a friend before? I never did.
I don't think so, but I was obviously super into these books in middle school, and I projected Darrington onto, like, the public school boys, because the private school boys were, like, weird that I went to school with. And one of them was a goalie, which reminded me of... I feel like they're all on the soccer team.
Mm-hmm.
But I went over and was hanging out with the public boys, and I was so nervous to ask where this one boy's restroom was that I pissed my pants at his house. And I was like, I just embarrassed myself in front of the Darrington equivalent I just left a puddle there in my fucking private school khaki pants.
That's so funny.
I know, embarrassing.
The closest thing I had to, like, fighting with over a boy with a friend, it's like, it wasn't even a fight. It was just that, like, my, like, best friend, former best friend, I should say, because I don't really talk to her anymore. My best friend in, like, high school really liked this guy, but then he liked this other girl, and then that girl didn't want to date him, and then he ended up, like, really liking me, and I, like, could tell that she was, like, so in love with him, and it just, like, made me really uncomfortable, because, like, we would all three hang out, and it was just so obvious that she had these feelings for him, and it got to a point where I was like, I'm so uncomfortable with this, and I, like, literally went to his house, and I was like, I can't date you, and he was like, okay, and then, like, a month later, he started dating her, and I was like, you're really gonna be his third choice?
Oh, that sucks.
And they dated for, like, 2 years, then he abruptly broke up with her for somebody else, and I was like, that's honestly, you should have expected that. I felt really bad, because she was so devastated, but I was like, well, I'm not really surprised.
I know. Oh, my God.
Okay, but anyway, Claire convinces Massie to hook her and Lane up with some Briarwood boys, because Claire doesn't know anybody.
And so they meet Tristan and Eli, who are dressed as rock and roll, which is very cute. One has rolls on them, one has rocks on them. I think that's adorable. So Lane and Eli start hitting off, and they go off and start skating together.
But Lane is a couch potato, and she's described as just being, like, this huge box that's, like, around her body, and it sounds like she cannot move in it.
She can't. She falls on the ice rink a lot.
Yeah.
Poor Lane.
Poor Lane. But then Claire does not like Eli. No, Tristan. She doesn't like Tristan. Tristan's the one she goes out
Claire
with.
doesn't like Tristan.
Because he wears makeup?
Tristan admits he, like, goes into his sister's room and will put makeup on, and usually. And she goes, usually? Like, you mean it's not part of your costume? And he's like, no. I look good like this.
Yeah, he's like, I like wearing makeup. And Claire's like, nope. And then he's a really bad dancer. And Claire's like, extra nope.
Claire's like, internalized transphobia, and also,
yeah,
you can't
guys
dance.
can't wear makeup. You can't dance. And it's just like, those are, well, you can learn how to dance. And also makeup shouldn't be an issue.
So she goes and gets a what are those?
Caricature?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With her brother's friend, Nathan, and Cam is running away from Alicia and Olivia. This is a meet cute.
This is a meet cute. This is how Claire and Cam, the guy who drinks great big league chew and has a brown leather jacket, they
smells like Drakkar Noir.
So what kind of middle schooler wears cologne?
I don't know. He wears a leather jacket, though, so it's cool. And he has 2 different colored eyes.
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting that that's, like, a really big deal.
When I read it, though, in middle school, I thought he was the one with sandy blonde hair. I didn't realize that was Darrington.
Yeah, I always pictured Cam with blonde hair, too. I think I pictured both of them with blonde hair.
I think maybe I did,
But Cam has black hair, right?
Yeah. I think I pictured it swapped. But
yeah,
again,
something like that.
I projected onto the public school goalie.
It was so, we were in middle school so long ago.
It's true.
But anyway, Claire and Cam start talking, and then the DJ announces a dance contest.
So they go to the dance floor, and whoever wins gets 2 iTunes gift cards.
It's like, I cannot emphasize enough that these books were written. The first book is written in 2004. These books are so old. Like, we're like 15 years ago.
I think I was reading that, and I was like, I can't, because I would burn CDs, and I would put albums on, like, 6 different CDs in high school, because I could flip between them in my trunk for some reason when I was driving. Cool car. And now I think about how much labor that took.
It took so much labor to burn CDs, and, like, when I go to my parents' house and I borrow their cars, they don't have, like a aux cord or anything, and I don't bring one, so I literally will burn CDs when I'm at my parents' house still, because I'm like, I want to listen to music in the car, but I don't want to wait for the radio.
I know.
It takes time.
I would try to filter out albums, too, like, weekly, so I would spend, like, Sunday mornings just until, like, 4 p.m. doing that. Oh, my God.
But, Cam pulls Claire into this.
He's doing finger guns.
Oh my God, I cannot, something that I realized in the last book when they were at the benefit, the auction, and something I realize now is the way Lisi Harrison, describes how people dance makes it sound like everybody is a bad dancer.
Yeah, it is true. Somehow they win this dance
Yeah, because it's described as, like, Cam's doing, like, a Wild West finger gun shooting thing, and I was just like, I've never met anybody who dances like that. And also, it sounds terrible.
It's not sexy, and Lisi tries to describe it as, like, the sexiest thing Claire's ever seen.
It makes it sound like, in comparison to Tristan, Claire's just like, wow, that was amazing. And it's just like, honestly, I think Tristan's a better dancer than Cam at this point.
Yeah, but for some reason, Claire and Cam win these iTunes gift cards. And in the alternate universe, there's another meet cute that we did skip over that I want to talk about, which is Olivia and Alicia.
Oh my god, I honestly love Olivia and Alicia.
I swear to God, there's no backstory to, like, but they are best friends from the get. When they meet each other.
You know, so Olivia is described as this girl that's just been, like, gone all semester, and they rumor that it's because she got a nose job. But she's really pretty, as described in the book, and she's also super nice through her actions in the book.
She looks like a surfer girl, so she is the opposite of Alicia in beauty, but, like, in a different way. So I pictured her as tall, blonde, blue-eyed. Alicia has brown hair, brown eyes.
But they just, like, from, like, the start of this Halloween party, they just vibe super hard, and they're just like, we want to go play Spin the Bottle, and we're going to make it happen. And then they just, like, saunter off, and Massie gets so jealous.
So jealous. And, I mean, I don't know. To me, and maybe it's because I want a gay storyline so bad, they hit it off fast. I feel like they are gay.
See, I didn't get gay vibes from them. I got more from Claire and Massie in this book.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
because
fair.
it's like, maybe it's also because, like, I love when I can, like, go kiss boys with my friends.
That
you know?
is true.
I'm just like, let's go out and let's go find boys to kiss.
I guess that's probably why they, like, made more sense as friends, because Massie was always so nervous.
Massie's such a prude.
That Alicia had kissed boys in Spain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, Claire gives Cam her iTunes gift card because she doesn't have an iPod.
And Cam says, I will make you a CD.
Of the songs I download with this.
Like The Strokes, My Chemical Romance.
Did he list off those bands?
The Strokes, I know he did. I think I made a thing, because I was like, I want to know what a Cam playlist is. And he did say that he had The Strokes on there. Cam's love of The Strokes, the Godfather movies, and soccer.
So I'm sure he put The Strokes on there. Yeah, and then that's, like, the end of the party, essentially. Like, Claire is just, like, watches him walk off, and she has a big ol' crush.
It's very cute.
It's very cute. And then the next Monday at school, this is where the plot just really just does a sharp change.
Super sharp change.
Because at some point, also, Massie and Claire call off the bet, and I forget why.
The clothing bet?
Yeah, or maybe it's in this next part. They call it off. They call it off to work together in the next plot. So, again, you know, the bet set up to be this very big thing is literally just ended 3/4 of the way through the book. But what happens is the principal Burns, calls everybody into the auditorium, and because Massie and her friends dressed too slutty, they announced that OCD is going uniform. And,
dun, dun, dun.
And also there's only like 50 pages left in the book. Like, there's not a lot of time to really draw this, like, fashion show plot out. Because Massie convinces Pia, the fashion design course teacher, which is a required course at Octavian Day Country School.
Huge.
And she convinces Pia to let them do a contest to see whose uniform would be the school's uniform.
Yes, exactly. And they have a week to put this together, so they have essentially 4 days to get a uniform together.
Which is not a lot of time. On top of all of school, like, no.
A uniform that has to be cute for the Briarwood boys, sexy for the Briarwood boys, classy?
Yeah.
In 4 days?
Can't do that.
How do you do that?
But this is where Claire says, Massie, if you let me be on your team, we can call off the bet. And Massie says yes.
And they start being on teams because Massie and Claire individually start working on uniforms. Massie's is like, I don't know, probably sexier. Claire's is like casual, comfy, because she's like, I'm going to teach these OCD girls that casual and comfy is actually like going to work out for a year, which makes sense. And they put them in garbage bags, and Inez, the housekeeper, throws them away.
Yeah, and I have a passage I need to read because this is where I was getting the lesbian vibes. So on page 142, Massie was measuring her mannequin. She wore a pair of juicy red couture sweats, and her hair was piled on top of her head. Even though she seemed ready for bed, Claire thought Massie looked pretty. I see you watching me, Massie said without even turning her head. I was just... Claire, do you work at a grocery store? Massie asked as she was wrapping her tape measure around her mannequin's waist. Huh? No, Claire said. Then why are you checking me out?
You are right. Okay.
Case and point.
I do love staring at my friends when they're not looking when I am also in love with them. Yep, alright.
Yep. Checkmate. And maybe, I hope maybe in book 3, Olivia and Alicia will kiss. Who knows?
God,
I feel like this book is too hetero to do something like that, but who knows?
Who knows?
But Olivia and Alicia do team up. And then Kristen and Dylan are still fighting about Darrington, and then they start fighting because they both want to do a reversible uniform, and then Massie convinces them both, like, that's a stupid idea, stop fighting, come be models for Claire and I, and we can all win.
And they eventually do stop fighting because they go to Abercrombie. They're shopping because Kristen has... Oh, this was really nostalgic. She has, like... I mean, I couldn't afford Abercrombie, but
me either.
When they had the male models on the bags and people would put them up on the walls, she was like, I need to go get the newest male model bag to put up on my walls. So they go into Abercrombie, and Kristen realizes... On Monday, she has plans with Darrington to play soccer, and she's gonna bring him to, like, a big soccer game. I don't know.
Or he's gonna help her practice her, like, goals or something. Or her, like, kick.
In exchange, though, she's bringing him to a soccer game.
Yes, something like that.
And then Wednesday, he's going into the city with Dylan, because Dylan has free concert tickets, and Alicia's like, he's just playing you guys. Here, let me text him. And then makes plans with him both Monday and Wednesday to hang out in a hot tub.
And both times, Darrington's like, I'm free both those days.
So that's when we realize that men are trash.
And that Darrington's using Kristen and Dylan because they're giving them stuff.
And they stop fighting, which, like, thank God.
It was the whole book. They had no other arcs besides the fact that they were fighting.
It's true.
Okay, and then we have the fashion show, which Massie and Claire do so well at, and both Alicia and Olivia do too, and they're both the finalists.
It is true. They're both finalists, and when they are counting the votes, everyone votes while they are still at the event, and there are 2 boxes, one that has Alicia and Olivia's face, one that has Massie and Claire's face.
And Massie takes her purple nail polish, and on the thimble that they vote with, because everybody gets a thimble to drop in, she puts a little drop of purple nail polish on her thimble for good luck, drops it in her pile to give herself a vote.
And they have more thimbles, but at the end, they switched the photos. So Alicia and Olivia ended up winning.
It's announced that Olivia and Alicia win, and then Massie looks in the container and finds that her purple thimble is in Alicia and Olivia's box and realizes that, oh my god, those people switched the photos, which is so sketchy.
So sketchy.
That's honestly, like... That might be, like, the most crooked thing that's happened in the book thus far.
It is true, but Massie has a plan. They're not going to call them out. They are going to sit in the weeds. So in book 3, I think that they are going to get back at Alicia and Olivia.
Yeah, and that's a good setup for book 3, because we did not get any setups in book 1.
We got no setups, but we got this plot line as a setup, and we also got that Darrington likes Massie, and Cam likes Claire!
And that reminds me that they're having, like, another dinner at the end of the book to, like, celebrate the fashion show. And Claire gets a note from, like, Todd, and Cam's like, I guess you didn't like my mixtape. And Claire's like, what mixtape, Todd? And he goes, it's killer, I'll have to give it to you. So Todd's just been hiding this mixtape that Cam made for Claire. And Claire is not mad about it. And I'm just like, I would be pissed.
I'd be so mad.
But I wonder if, like, Lisi was like, I need to wrap this up. She's fine with it.
Oh, absolutely. And it leaves it on the cliffhanger that Massie's like, I have to tell Claire after dinner. And then we don't know what happens.
Wow. But it also, this book ends similarly to book 1, that Massie and Claire are kind of friends.
It is true. Yeah. It was pretty nice.
Okay, and for our last few minutes of this podcast, we introduced a new segment, because this book really called for it. Our top 5 most problematic moments and statements from this book.
It is true. There was one that glaringly stood out, which Laura has the list. I'll have her read number 1.
We're gonna start at number 5, because you have to build it up.
You're right.
We gotta for the listeners, we gotta tease them a little bit.
It is true.
Number 5 we already touched on, but we're still gonna say it's problematic. Darrington using Kristen and Dylan to get stuff from them, while willingly wanting to make out with Alicia and also having a crush on Massie.
That's a group of 4 girls.
He's a dog.
Yikes, but he does stay in the book's plotline, so not too much of a dog. So, number 4 for problematic moments was page 173. This one girl makes pretty, gender-neutral day of the week uniforms where it just says, it's
just a dress that says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yes, and people describe it as unhygienic, funeral, and depressing.
The quote is, the pretty girls looked like clowns in their makeup. The applause sounded like gunfire, and the uniforms looked like they were made by blind kids with no hands. And that's the problematic moment from there.
Terrible. What's number 2?
Number 3. We're on number 3 right now.
Okay.
Number 3 is when Nathan's going to get a caricature done with Claire.
Mm-hmm.
And Claire says, she'd much rather be doing something else than getting her caricature done with Todd's midgety friend.
Oh, yeah. It is really...
I don't think I have heard that word in so long.
They said midgety, twice, too.
Did they? I
so.
marked it down the one because I was just like, oof, haven't heard that one in a bit.
What's number...
Number 2 is Eli
and
Lane's fashion show.
Eli is... very, very progressive. The posing is Lane's model, and he is in a navy pleated skirt, black Chuck Taylors, and a long sleeve t-shirt, and people laugh at him, which is so transphobic.
Yeah, everybody's weirded out that Eli's modeling Lane's uniform for an all-girls Catholic school or whatever, but Lane's just I want a gender-neutral uniform.
Yeah, so that one sucked. Number 1, though.
Oh, number 1, oof. I hated reading this one.
It would hurt.
It was in The Limited, and Massie needs a cell phone, and this girl with dreads from their school hands her cell phone, and it is written that Massie inhales a mouthful of patchouli oil from the girl with dreads.
It is so racist.
It's very racist. That is so racist.
Oh, God.
Hands down, that was the most problematic moment in this book.
Yes, and that is our top 5, our new segment.
Top 5 new segment, and I hope we can keep doing it. I hope there continues to be problematic things that we get to talk about.
Of course, to end this podcast, we have to do our State of the Union.
We have to do our State of the Union, just like Massie Block. There wasn't that many State of the Unions in this book. I think there was 2 or 3, maybe.
This is true. Yeah, there weren't that many.
There weren't that many. I think there's going to be more in the next one. I hope there is.
Our first State of the Union in is the lesbian undertones between both Olivia and Alicia and Massie and Claire, and out are straight men using women for their own gain.
The next thing that's going to be in is calling people you like pet. That's what Todd does to Massie on more than one occasion. And honestly, Meggie and I agree that it's very funny.
Todd calling her my pet was hysterical. I laughed out loud.
And calling people bae. When was the last time you heard that?
Literally never.
It's been a while.
The last in is Tristan and Eli.
Oh, we love them. I want more of them.
They're gender forward. They have really cute all.
They're also way more developed than Cam and Darrington, even though they were only briefly mentioned.
It is true. And then what's our out?
Our out is Cam and Darrington. Because honestly, they just seem like the same person at this point. One just wears shorts in the winter.
That is true. Okay, so
right.
That'll be it for
That's it for Y'all We Read It. Make sure you follow at Meggie and Laura on Instagram and Facebook and all other social medias where you might find your media to be social. We are part of the Social Network Pod Network. Follow them on Instagram where you can listen to so many other fun podcasts that are just as good, if not even better than ours. But before we go, I guess we don't have anything to say, but before we go, we're going to go. We did it.
We did it.
We'll see you guys for book 3.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
That's fun.